families are really hesitant to use recruiters to find talent, often really due to cost. And like you said, they often try to fill the roles either with other family members or friends or family members of friends. You know, the network gets really big suddenly when you've got an open position.
Yeah.
And so while there have certainly been times where this can work out, can you speak a little more just about the advantage of using a recruiter and really the impact that this can have on an organization? Because I think this, again, was something for me that I underestimated the impact of.
Yeah, well, here you're absolutely right, and the resistance or objection is cost, number one, but number two is families. Most family businesses, they want to keep information within. They don't like to share information, particularly say financial information. And sometimes, depending upon the role you're recruiting for, you need to be able to describe the current financial state of the business. If you're trying to recruit in a non-family member CEO or a CFO, if it's more mid-management, maybe you don't need to, and then it's the cost. So there is that resistance, but as you know, Brandy, we really support bringing in recruiters, but we have to make sure that the recruiter matches up with what the job assignment is. There's two types of executive recruiters, right? There's a retained recruiter and there's a contingency search recruiter. I always like to recommend retained search recruiters if they're going to be for the top level positions, somebody in the C-suite. And the reason for that is because those are very specific roles that have a really need for specific skills. And then there has to be a really good culture fit. Not that that's not true for all jobs, but at those top levels, it's really important. So the retained search, you basically pay about the same between retained and contingency. Some might argue contingency is a little less, but let's just say generally it's about the same. In retained, you're just going to pay for it up front. In contingency, you're only going to pay for it if they are able to find somebody to fill that role. A good executive recruiter that's definitely a retained recruiter is going to spend a lot of time with you, whoever the hiring manager is, and really scoping out the profile of that job, trying to understand what is the actual perfect candidate for this role from a behavioral component standpoint, from a skill set standpoint, even from an internal motivation standpoint, trying to get that ideal profile. So they'll spend weeks doing that. And then they'll spend maybe more weeks or months searching and finding. See, these retained search firms, they're actually going out and finding people who are not looking for a job, right? They're trying to, because their mission is to find the perfect fit to that profile. And then they vet them, and they may talk to scores of folks, but they're only going to present one or two to you. And as you go through the review of those early candidates, what happens is you're refining your profile even more. You're getting smarter about who you're looking for. And that takes time. And so that's why on a retained firm, you're paying up front. You're getting value all along the way. And then when you actually bring those folks in and you go through your own personal vetting process, your interview process, and then that retained recruiter can kind of do the follow-up on background checks, employee checks, and do whatever else that you need to do to complete your hiring process. So that's the retained search firm. I'm a big proponent of it because you get a third-party perspective, and they're doing that every day. As a business owner or as a business manager, you're not doing that every day. You're riding your tricycle in the operations running your business. So I always defer to go to the experts, go to the folks that are doing that work every day. The contingency search firm, there's a place for them. I would say it's more kind of mid-level, right? It's more like in your functional roles, whether it's in accounting or IT or HR or maybe in operations, but more functional roles. Because a contingency search firm, it's just about that. They're going to present resumes that they have on file. So they're going to be giving you employees that are looking for jobs. They might do some research, but they're not going to spend the time the retained search firm is, because they only get paid if you make a hire from them. And so you're going to see a lot more resumes from the contingency firm, and you're going to have to do your own vetting, versus on a retained firm, you're going to see fewer resumes, but they're going to be higher quality and better aligned. So I hope did that answer the question? Can you think of
Yeah,
anything
totally.
to that?
And ditto. I think that I always learned really great things just about open job positions, the demands of those positions. And then you get great insight on how other businesses like yours, how are they staffed? What kind of positions do they have? And, sometimes the recruiters do a really, really good job and convince you that you have a gap that that could really help your business as well.
That's
So
a good point. Yeah.
totally agree.